Good morning, my beautiful shining being, now and forever. It is I, Silvia Hartmann, coming to you from beautifully storm-swept Eastbourne by the Sea today in the United Kingdom. And I am really delighted to be here with you today. And I'm looking forward to what this particular day will bring us, what's going to happen, and which way the thoughts are going to go, which way, what we're going to talk about, what we're going to experience, what we're going to think about today. I am going to start with the comment or the story that I have behind me here, a picture. And I don't know if that's ever happened to you, that a picture all of a sudden falls from the wall or a book jumps out of a bookshelf. It's one of those strange little things. Good morning, Renata and Ilka. How lovely to have you here with me this morning. Just saying about my painting there. The reason that is behind me this morning is because it fell off the wall yesterday. And where it had been hanging quite happily for some years, I think 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years or more, and it fell off. Now, this painting behind me is the Project Sanctuary painting. I started doing a Project Sanctuary painting at some point, and yeah, that's what it turned out to be. And so I'm kind of, we can think about that painting fell off the wall because it was very windy, or perhaps it just warped over the last many years, that it wasn't quite secure on its little hook anymore. Or we can go down the path that some ghostie chucked it off, or that I created some sort of an energy storm, just to remind me that Project Sanctuary is the joy of my life, absolutely the joy of my life, and the wellspring of everything, really, of, my creativity, if you will. I get my creativity absolutely from my dearly beloved energy mind. And if you're a complete newbie and you don't know what that is, it's our word that we use for basically the head and the neurology of the energy body. So yeah, instead of a sub or an unconscious mind, which is just so naughty and nasty. And there's so many wrong things that people believe about the sub or unconscious mind, or they have been told all this nonsense. But what it actually is a natural physical thing, metaphysical thing, the neurology of the energy body, and it knows all about energy. And it's, it's not stupid. It's just because it doesn't understand lies, it doesn't conceptualize lies. Like no part of our body understands lies at all. You can not say to your foot, if it has a hole in it, that it's just deluding itself or something. It's a normal, natural system, is our dear energy mind. And when we come to embrace it and appreciate it, then wonderful things happen in our incarnation. And we get to have a wonderful relationship with it. And that was the original idea behind Project Sanctuary, to have this space at the place where the conscious mind and the energy mind, where they sort of overlap and where they meet. And that is the sanctuary space. And you don't get there by meditating the conscious mind out of the way. And that, because I think that's a huge mistake, then you're left with the energy mind. But, the conscious mind and the energy mind in human beings, in my opinion, are supposed to be working together. They're supposed to become more than the sum of their parts. And when they actually work together properly, then the SuperMind arises. And that's why I call that the SuperMind course now, that when they work together properly, as there was designed to be in the first place, we think differently. We have access to more information and a much, much bigger picture. So yeah, I don't know why my Project Sanctuary painting fell off the wall yesterday, but it did, and I giggled and I brought it into the office and propped it up behind me. And well, yeah, so I think my just take the opportunity, I thought, that we'll do something SuperMind Project Sanctuary or so this morning together, and that would be a lovely thing, I think. So I'm going to say good morning to Hakon and to Julie and Roberta Ann and Wendy, my dear, dear shining ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here with me today. It's wonderful to have the grace of your shining presence. We've got some SuperMind Project Sanctuary fans here who are, you know, Ilka says that this is probably in response to me saying that Project Sanctuary is the love of my life. And Ilka says mine too. Without PS, I wouldn't be the same, happy on all levels of my life. Yeah, it's really quite difficult to, describe what a good relationship with your energy mind does to a person. This is impossible to describe. Good morning, Kumazie. Hello. Lovely to have you here with me. Yes. I love Project Sanctuary. I was watching a television show the other night, and it occurred to me that this next year, this time, there will be this television show not, because it wasn't, the next episodes could not be made because of the global panic pandemic. And then I thought, wait a minute, not only that show isn't going to be made, no show has been made. No movies have been made. Not even games have been continued to be worked at in their office settings from the big companies. We are going to have a tremendous shortage of entertainment next year this time. By default, by definition. And you never know, perhaps we can do something and to fill that void with new stories, with SuperMind stories. And the beauty of those is that they're so unpredictable. They're not the same old that everybody keeps doing over and over and over and over again. They go into these other and different directions and bring all sorts of new and interesting ideas with them. So I don't know, I'm grinning as I'm saying this because I'm kind of, I write a lot of courses and this is fun completely, always happy to share what I've learned about energy and how that can be helpful in our daily lives, practical with other people. But there's then that part of me that also really deeply appreciates the storytelling. There are many, many concepts in modern energy that I discovered when I was telling a sanctuary story. That's a fact. There's so many things. The Energist's handshake first turned up in a short story that I wrote, and I then took it from there, and it became sort of a pattern that we use as modern energists. And it's a way, storytelling is a way for the energy mind to give you information that you can't get anywhere else, answer your questions, or just explain something to you that you just didn't understand at all. Lorna, good morning, darling. Lorna says, Project Sanctuary is also my life, saved my life. Oh, yes. Oh, God, yeah. Absolutely. Saved my life too. In more ways than one. I mean, it saved my life in a practical way of not getting killed or run over. And it's also saved my life in the widest metaphorical sense. I completely appreciate that. And I always appreciate you too, Lorna. Absolutely. So, if you don't know what SuperMind or Project Sanctuary is, or how that works, I still have my old website up, projectsanctuary.com, and you can just browse that and have a look around and see if anything there makes any level of sense to you. We have the classic game, which is to ask the thing is for the newbies amongst us, is that the way it's supposed to work is that the conscious mind asks a question. It's really good at that. It goes around and checks out things where there's holes in its understanding of the world, and then it asks a question. Little children go through a phase where they ask and ask and ask about everything. And that's a very much sort of the waking up of the conscious mind and starting to ask these questions. And the conscious mind is supposed to ask, and the energy mind is supposed to answer. That's how these two sort of, in inverted commas, minds, which aren't minds, they're just operating systems. They are supposed to interact in that way that the conscious mind, which doesn't know, asks the question, and the energy mind gives the answer. And we use that in Project Sanctuary and in SuperMind via the classic game. We ask the dear energy mind to take us to the perfect place in time and space. That is just perfect to experience right here, right now. That's really good for our energy bodies, right here, right now. And we might as well do that. I know that more people are going to wander in late and what have you, but they can always watch the replay. So just do that. Dear energy mind, take me to the perfect place in time and space where I can just be for a moment, and that'll make me feel good inside. And then we ask the questions that the conscious mind cannot answer. The energy mind has to provide the answer for that. And that's such a beautiful thing. And it teaches us this basic switching from the questioning mode to the listening mode. If you've never done this before, imagine you're holding a mobile phone and you're literally asking that question, and then you switch into listening to hear the answer. So there's a real switch there. And when you learn how to do that, that's the first step to have really good communication with your dear energy mind. And then you can ask all sorts of other questions. But today we're going to do this perfect place in time and space where we can, of course, travel. Our consciousness can go there. And when it does, our energy body reacts. This perfect place in time and space. What is the time of day there? And just take the first thing that springs to mind. What's the time of day in that perfect place in time and space? And of course, when I ask this, I get the answers myself as well. And in my perfect place in time and space, it is sort of around midday in the day. It's midday. Okay. So we ask the next question. What is the time of year? And some people see something, some people hear something, some people sense something. The time of year, that is really a feeling, it's a sensation that is combined from all the different things, the temperature, the moisture in the air. Like an autumn day smells ever so different from a winter's day or a spring day. All the vegetation is doing various things, and they're all contributing that scent to the air. It's quite remarkable, and to the taste in your mouth. And when you're at a beach, you can always taste the salt in your mouth. It's just one of those strange things. Okay, so let's ask that question afresh. What is the time of year in this perfect place in time and space? And I got very early summer. So where the spring is just sort of shifting into summer, midday on an early summer's day. And if you can repeat that for yourself, sort of out aloud, what your time of day and time of year is, then we have got the first one of these space-time coordinates to go to this place in time and space that exists, or we're creating it. The jury's out on that one. And we ask the next question. What is the weather here? And just breathe in deeply and get some of that information that only the energy mind can provide you. What is the weather here? And in my case, it's just a bright wind, white fluffy clouds in the sky, just sunshine. Lovely, absolutely perfect. A perfect early summer's day, round about lunchtime. Warm, really nice and warm. But there's the fresh wind, so lovely. Love it. Okay. The next question we ask, what is the land? And what that means is, what is the environment you're finding yourself in? Now, sometimes a perfect place in time and space is not outdoors, it's indoors somewhere. Can be perfectly happening, or it's out in space, or something like that. So when we say, what is the land? What we mean by that, the lay of the land, the environment. Let's take a moment to have a little look around and a sense around. You can turn your head as well if you like to get more of the environment. Another question we often ask, are there any plants here? What kind of vegetation exists here? And the final question that we can ask today, what is very special about here? What else is there that is actually really interesting, good, refreshing, beneficial? So just to keep myself on track here, I have this beautiful summer's day with the fluffy clouds, and I'm actually in a forest, a light forest of birches. And the land around is just sort of softly undulating. You can't see that far because the birches are there, and there's many. So I am in a, whoa, yes, in a place where there is a lot of birches and a forest, and the ground is quite soft, very soft to walk on. And there are little different kinds of plants and flowers around. And what is also interesting in my environment, when I asked that question, I could hear that there was a little stream that away. And I'm kind of looking forward to going to discovering that and going to it and perhaps drinking from it, perhaps just washing my face and refreshing myself with it. I have a smile thinking about that little stream that I can go and explore in this habitat. And just being there in this, connecting with this habitat, this place in time and space, it's just really refreshing, and to me, it's lovely. It's really a lovely place. It's so bright and fresh, and there's bird song and so much life. And it's calm and peaceful and a really, really beautiful nature. And this whole thing that I got is a cocktail. And whatever it is that you got is a cocktail as well. There's all these different ingredients in this cocktail. You know, in my cocktail, there was clouds and skies and beach and these trees, the whispering foliage and the birds and the little river and all that. Each one is like an ingredient in a magic potion for your energy body. And I love that. I think it's a beautiful thing. So just take a moment and breathe that in, that habitat of yours, your perfect place in time and space. And if you are at all interested in this sort of thing, then I would encourage you to, after this chat's finished, take a moment to sit in a quiet corner and go there and explore this a little bit more, because your dear energy mind sent you this for a reason. there may be a story there, a story that is perfectly your own. Perhaps there is a mystery to be discovered, or a special treasure to be found in its widest metaphorical sense. Perhaps you'll discover an artifact, or, possibly an archaeological thing, I don't know, or a special plant, or perhaps there is an animal that makes itself known to you, a spirit animal of some kind. Perhaps you can meet an entity like a spirit guide if you look around a little bit more. Perhaps it might be a place where you might just spend some time and build a home of your own. But either which way, each one of these habitats is an invitation to a story. And that's not the sort of story necessarily that you make a blockbuster movie out of, with crashes and car chases and superheroes that actually can't hurt each other, throwing each other into buildings over and over again. The story that awaits you there is a personal story. It's a story for you. It might be the sort of story you've been waiting to hear all your life, that you wanted to hear when you were a child, but nobody told you this story at bedtime. Or perhaps it's the story you're looking for when you're looking through the television shows, or the Netflix programs, or the next box set to binge upon. The story you've always wanted to hear, but nobody has told it yet. Now, I think that is deeply fascinating and speaks to ancient parts of us, human parts of us, that are waiting for the right kinds of story to inspire them, to help them evolve, to help them understand the nature of the universe, of their own place within it. It's also incredibly entertaining. I would love for you, if you can type at all, to just give me a bit of an idea what kind of perfect place in time and space you had. Just a few words, because I always like to tune in to other people's perfect places. They are just such different energy cocktails. So by all means, take a moment and just type it down. Tell me a little bit about your perfect place in time and space. This basic pattern is a wonderful thing. It really is a wonderful thing. And I wish parents and grandparents would do this with their children and teach them this, and would encourage their children to ask other children the basic classic game questions. If you went to the perfect place in time and space, what would be the time of day? What would be the time of year? And the order and sequence of this is just something that I discovered by doing this with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, and found simply that the way the order and sequence in the classic game, actually that just works really well for almost everyone, which is really nice. Okay. Does a vow of silence include typing and writing? That's an interesting question. Somebody just posted they had taken a vow of silence, which is amusing. That reminds me of a story that I'm not going to tell because it's too controversial for Facebook. Renata, I love you, darling. I love you for your responsiveness and for the fact that you actually are so proactive and do something, which is awesome. I love that. Thank you so much. Do keep that up. It's a wonderful thing. It really is. It's a wonderful thing. It's very, very helpful. And I don't know if you get enough credit for that. So let's have a look what Renata's Summer field, sunshine, rippling field of fully grown wheat, barley, with lots of shimmering light on the field. Slight breeze, creating that summery, shimmery movement. Oh yes, it's beautiful. I got lovely, lovely goosebumps here, Renata. Whew, I was walking through a path, found a magical old ancient ring. Oh wow, that's amazing. Somebody lost that in that field many, many years ago. Oh, there's definitely a story to be had here. Very much so. A beautiful artifact. Oh wow, super. Thank you. And thank you so much for writing it down and sharing it with us. So cool. Just awesome. See, yeah, when I just read that and I just it's a magical thing when the wind blows over a field of grass or a field of wheat, and you see these magical waves there. The invisible wind becomes real, and we can know it's there because we can see the touches and the traces that it's left behind. And energy is just like that. You can't see energy, but you can see the touches and traces that it has left behind on people, on things, on works of art. That's it's such a marvelous, it's a marvelous thing. It really is. It's a wonderful thing. And I actually feel enriched by Renata's summer field and the magic ring. See, now I am doubly intrigued as to what I'm going to find if I'm going to go and listen to that little brook, the river, the water sounds in the habitat that my dear energy mind gave me, and what I would find if I walked towards it. And I'm like now going, oh, can I stop now? And can I stop the live broadcast and find out what happened by the river? But I don't know. This got me coming back to this thing about that we're going to have an even worse dearth of stories, lack of stories next year than in the English speaking realms have been had forever. I can't even think of a time when there were so few stories being told, new stories, different stories being told. Go right back to caveman days. They were telling new stories to each other every day, what they saw, what happened. Oh man, in the Middle Ages, people had storytellers going round and people telling children stories and priests telling stories from the Bible. Doesn't matter. There's been such a dearth of new stories in the 20th and 21st century. And I've always kind of really regretted that. And when the mobile phones came in and people seemed to stop reading books or anything that was longer than 132 characters, my God, oh God, my heart sank. I thought, oh God almighty, this is just going to make it worse. The dearth of stories. We need stories. We really need stories. Now, we are okay here. As modern energists, we're okay. We can make our own stories anytime we want and tell each other stories. We have further discovered the power of the star stories, which are the high positive events in your life. And those are amazing stories. And I really look forward to developing a way in which we can share our star stories with each other and with the rest of the world in all different modalities, because I think they are hyper important. If we want other people to be enlightened or understand something important that we've understood, and we want to leave a legacy of that in the living human beings, in the heart, then clearly we must tell people about our experiences and our star experiences. We must tell them about our star events. So yeah, that's content, if you will, that we can provide as modern energists, and which I'm super excited about. But I also think that there really is an opportunity for those among us who feel moved to tell stories, be it their own stories of healing and enlightenment, or real fantasy stories, Project Sanctuary style stories, which could be anywhere, Space, the final frontier. It's not the final frontier. Multi-dimensional, but space too, which is fun. I think there's a huge opportunity for us to start telling stories, because they're not going to be any next year from the mainstream, which is brilliant, really. Hello, energy body. Okay, what's she got? Hello, energy body. Lush green woodland, fresh water streams, winding paths through ancient trees. Ooh, I know those trees. I call those cathedral trees, because they've that effect when the sun comes in these beams through the canopy. Ooh, dappled sunlight and birdsong. The trees whisper as friends, weaving magic, singing on the breeze. Gentle summer rain on leaves, landing lightly on my skin alive. Oh, that's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, summer rain. That's another one of my favorites. Jim Morrison wrote the following lines and sang the following lines. Caught in a Roman wilderness of pain, and all the children are insane, waiting for the summer rain. And that's incredibly apt, like right now. It was incredibly apt when I first heard this, and I actually wrote a piece of music called Summer Rain, which Will Taylor scored for me and played on the piano. And yeah, that's, summer rain is also what innocent energy is called in German, which is interesting, isn't it? So yeah, if we're feeling insane, let us evoke the summer rain, because the summer rain is a metaphor that the energy mind seems to understand as something that brings essential moisture, but in that healing, loving sense, because the summer rain is warm and it falls steadily and is welcomed by the thirsty ground upon which it falls, and is essential to bring about a good harvest in the end. Summer rain is a fantastic, fantastic metaphor. And I highly invite you to evoke summer rain in your meditations, or if you are perhaps in a situation with other people and they're starting to go insane, to literally just evoke the summer rain into the room, because the children are caught in a Roman wilderness of pain, which is a sad thing. Julie. Let me see what Julie said. Julie, my magical place is early May, 10 a.m. on a beautiful spring day. Woody glen mossy faces watching over me. And hazy sunshine glistening through the trees, and a bridge over a gently flowing brook. Ooh, that bridge is, of course, an absolute 100% invitation to explore what's on the other side. I mean, if your energy mind shows you a bridge, it must be crossed to find out what's on the other side. Thank you so, so much for sharing that. Oh, what have we here? Hello there. Not sure how to pronounce your name, Sao. I was near a lake with a black tiger, birds, butterflies. Ooh, black tiger is a very powerful spirit animal. It may be a really good idea if you engaged with that a little bit further. Go back and see if you can communicate, or if it wants to lead you somewhere, show you the way in some shape or form. That is also a huge invitation from your dear energy mind to Go on a journey that will be for you incredibly meaningful and represent a real evolution. Just like the ring that Renata found, and energy body had the summer rain there. There's these invitations that the energy mind puts out, and then it waits for the conscious mind to react, because this is a game, of communication, a game of communication. The energy mind gives us these invitations, but if we just go, oh, okay, nothing else happens. This is where we consciously step into the game, pick up the ring and start asking some questions, whose ring is this? Where did this come from? How does it come to be here? And the story moves on from there. And it's just brilliant. It's a wonderful, wonderful experience. That's quite interesting. Hakon says his perfect place in time and space is in the car of the middle of a barley field. Rain patterns against the window shield, and my dog's movements and breeze slightly move the car. Now I'm wondering if the perfect place in time and space is where he's actually in the heart. And that's a beautiful thing too, if you can do that. But, essentially it's about going into sanctuary and engaging directly with the dear energy mind there. Okay, what we got here? Lorna. Yes, Lorna has been exploring Orion. Space. I'm looking forward to telling them to my grandson. Space travel about Orion. Oh, that will be awesome. Absolutely. He'll absolutely love that. Absolutely love that. I remember a little story that I told my one of my sons about a spaceship landing in Grandad's garden. It was lovely. I remember it very well. Okay. Ilka says, a magic island with a rainbow sparkling soft ocean, palm trees, and diamonds in the sand. Ooh, lovely. Again, that's an invitation. These diamonds, what are they? What are they for? Where have they come from? What do you want to do with them? They're clearly something that the energy mind is saying, here, pay attention to this. I've put that there for you. It's sparkling. It's, what do you want me to do next? What shall we do next? And then that's over to you. Okay, guys. Yeah, right. So we've been here astonishingly 40 minutes. Can you believe that? Doesn't time pass when you're having fun and asking your dear energy mind to give you something magical? I am thoroughly thrilled that the painting fell off the wall and that we did that today. It's really a beautiful, beautiful thing. And for people who like that sort of thing, it really is. It's like an entrance into a magical world of stories that are literally unlike anyone else's stories. No one else in the world could experience this story or could tell this story. Only you, only you. Because after some time spent on planet Earth, but also from design, every one of us is so unique and has such unique energy systems, such unique energy pathways, that it is absolutely impossible, with all the complications of every aspect of these energy worlds, that any one of us could ever tell the same story, or that you could tell the same story twice. It's the most amazing thing. It's absolutely wonderful. I love it. Diane just asked a question, which I shall paraphrase. Cannot seem to hold positive energy states for long. Yes, that's something that we all really have to work our way through with. And the first thing is to, if you can't hold a positive energy state for long and you're sliding back down the Sue scale, the first thing is to not beat yourself up for that. Just realize it is so. And also don't take entire responsibility for this. You are connected to your society around you, and you are even more connected to the friends and people that you love. And if they go mad, if the children are insane, then that's going to reflect back on you. So then you are not only struggling with your own stress, but with other people's stress too. And what we used to do back in the day is we used to throw the book of energy at it and just absolutely, literally, really do everything. Everything that can possibly help, from charms to aromatherapy, carrying a crystal in your pocket, wearing a dichroic bracelet just so you can look at it and it sparkles and it reminds you that energy is real and God loves us. Every single thing in the book, tapping, emo, dancing, making sure you put on positive music, the whole 9 yards, throwing the book of energy at it constantly and all the time, and keeping that focus on that, focus on, I want to be stronger, I want to be happier, this is my will. And really, really doing everything that you possibly can, right? Everything. Like today, which t-shirt am I going to wear today that's going to help me the most, protect me the most, uplift me the most, and pick that one. Now, what should I cook today? What should I eat today that's going to help me here? Which aromatherapy oil can help me? Which angel can help me? Which thing can I hold to my heart and breathe for half an hour so I can get uplifted? I strongly recommend the Power of the Positives course. Please do that. It's nice. It's long, 12 units. That's really going to help, and just keep at it. If you keep at it, and this is the thing with many other things, if you keep at it, it gets better. It does. I used to have to go out with like a big sack of stuff, everything, charms and aromatherapy oils and crystals and energy symbols and a notebook and all sorts of things to keep myself from collapsing into negative energy states back in the day. And over time, this has reduced more and more and more, and I find it easier and easier and easier to raise energy or to stay in better energy states, even in difficult situations. So it is absolutely a practice matter. So I am sending you love. Stay strong. Keep as much as you can with positive people that can help you stay strong, that understand this. And please just keep at it. And most of all, keep hope. If you didn't see last week's live stream, this was on hope. And I really recommend that, because everything starts with hope, that things will get better for you, for your loved ones, for society, and for humanity as a whole. So I hope that has helped a little. Keep at it. Yeah, really. Diana, it is, at the end of the day, that's what it is. Just keep at it. Keep that eye on the prize. And that is being high, being connected to God, being connected to the universe, eternal life, the whole 9 yards. Keep your eye on the prize. All the things that you know are true when you're in the high energy states. And just wanting to be high, wanting to be the best person you can be. That's what I try and do. I try. What can I say? I try. I do my best. Thank you. Thank you for that comment, Renate. Power of the Positives course is helpful. Yes, it is, because it is long, and it is, you can do it over as well, because on the first reading, you don't actually get all the tips, and you can't absorb all of it on the first reading. So That's why I made it, to exactly for that situation, to help us keep focused and to keep strong when everything around us just seems to be falling apart. Okay. Just trying to do that here. May I send you some healing? I was certified as a healer this weekend. Got new rules. You are very welcome to send me or any aspect in need of healing some healing. Absolutely, 100%. I'd be most delighted and grateful. Thank you very much. Okay, guys, right. We've been here a long time, a longer than long time. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you are going to use your sanctuary, use that invitation your dear energy mind gave you today to explore more, to find out. And I feel like I just wanted to plant that seed with the stories, that we find a format, find a way to tell more stories, to have more new stories, because I think humanity really needs that. And each one of us has amazing stories to tell. Now, perhaps the time has come to not look to Hollywood anymore to provide the stories for everyone. Perhaps a new way there's a dawn on the horizon, a different way of getting our entertainment after a hard day's work, rather than just turning on the TV and hearing the old stuff all over again. So thank you very much for your time, guys. Thank you very much for being here with me. I love you lots. I hope you will have a surprisingly good rest of the day and week to come. And I look forward to seeing you fresh and anew for next Sunday Live with Silvia. With lots and lots of love from me. All the best, guys. See you soon. Bye.